Oh,
Good evening, Mr. Larry Gaines.
what's going on? How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I'm wet. I just wet my hair. It's a hot ass day here in Puerto Rico. Highs is 102 degrees. It
Ooh,
is damn hot.
that's my weather right there.
Yeah, that's your weather. That's not my weather here in Puerto Rico. Fuck that. And shout out to the sexy man, Mr. Onyx Blade. Love you, sir.
What's going on?
Welcome to the new channel. But same crazy vibe. Now, today we're gonna have two particular topics: NFL best halftimes and conspiracy theories. Now, because of copyright reasons, and this is my second channel, we can't show any NFL at all of anything because they will get my ass. I've already done the rules and user agreements of YouTube's second time. However, today of this special edition only, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only, ladies and gentlemen. None of this is believable. None of this is truth. It's just a theory and a question, a hypothesis, and hypothetical. It's called like that. I want to say that right now. So there's evidence on YouTube of me saying this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right off the bat, conspiracy theories. Yeah, no music this time. Just nice and creepy. Now, Mr. Larry Gaines, what is your thoughts on conspiracy theories? And if you can and if you want to, do you have one?
I mean, lately, since I have decided not to watch TV and I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot of times when I'm interacting with people, they always say that I'm just into these conspiracy theories. So I'm sure that as we continue to talk, some of them are going to come up, such as aliens. It's one of them.
Which, by the way, has been approved by the government in the last couple of weeks. So that's not coming from that's not bull crap, ladies and gentlemen. That's actually was confirmed by the White House. Okay, just saying that. My conspiracy theory is, I guess, underground dwellers of people that live beneath us over the last decades.
Mhm.
I guess in a sense, like people that just don't want to be in the they realize they can just live down underground for years, decades, centuries, even, and not really give a crap about anybody else. That's just my thing. But I believe in lizard people. I don't do that crap. If we haven't seen one yet, and you know what? What's weird is that check out the movie V. Ever since that movie's out, oh, lizard people, they made a movie. They wanted to show it in our faces. No, they just wanted to make an alien movie. Just shut the fuck up. Come on.
Okay, so speaking of conspiracy theories, do you believe that whenever they want to show us something, they put it right in front of our face?
Mm-hmm.
Either movies, and they have the celebrities, put up little signs or stuff in the music videos.
Yeah. Yeah. What a surprise that during the 90s, when technology and AI was going as fast and we were exploring and seeing new things we've never seen before, The Matrix comes out. iRobot, things that like just systematically has taught us to never trust robots. Then later on in life, anything that's not our skin color of any other race of the world would be a threat to humanity. Then now we're seeing movies of extra dimensional and multiverse. And so that's I've always believed that. They're just putting it out there. It's easier to put it out there so you're desensitized to it when it actually happens. Honestly. I think. Like the movie
So,
V, where aliens were everywhere.
what's the? Now I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Contagion. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Movies like
That was
that.
that was a good movie too. There was actually another movie, something like that too. Like there was based on another. No, well, V is based on like alien, like reptiles came to Earth and they had like human skin covered. But Contagion is a
Contagion
good point. Yeah.
and outbreak.
Oh, of course, Outbreak. Then there's 28 Days Later. Then there's freaking like all these things that come out. There was a movie during C19 where it was like in the future, people are just staying in their homes now, and now even in your homes you can get a virus, and it gets worse and worse. I'm like, all right, now you're just fear mongering us right now, and people put millions of dollars to make this movie, which was ridiculous. That's what I mean. But oh, thank you, Long Explain. I believe all of it is shown to us, but in the least obvious ways. Okay, like the conspiracy theory of no one can concisely tell you who invented the CD. If you look it up right now, it tells you like that it's in the technology, but no one can tell you. That's something. But like always, Mr. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry and Gary has a choice: A, B, or C in the clips of videos, ladies and gentlemen, and for you, Larry and Gaines. So, which one do you want?
Let's keep it music themed because I do music. I always like the B side of albums, so let's just go with B side.
B, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is for entertainment purposes only. You decide yourself.
The most famous woman pilot ever, Amelia Earhart, did not mysteriously disappear on her last flight. She was eaten by giant crabs and they found her skeletal remains. During her flight around the world, she was running out of fuel in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right before she was supposed to land on Howland Island. But she couldn't make it, so it's rumored that she crash landed on the tiny Niku Island that was on the same exact coordinate path that she was factually flying on. That island is notoriously home to these giant killer coconut crabs that can break a human's bone with its claw with as much force as a lion's jaw. 3 years after she disappeared, researchers found this incomplete skeleton on Niku Island where the bones looked like they were torn apart limb from limb. Back then, researchers weren't exactly sure they were Amelia's skeletal remains, but in 2017, a forensic anthropologist examined the bones and determined that they were almost definitely Amelia's. Furthering that, they found an old campfire set up on the beach, a device that helps pilots determine their longitude and latitude, landing gear from a plane sticking out of the water off the shore of the island, and a shoe from the same exact brand that Amelia Earhart was last seen in. I'm gonna show the craziest piece of evidence, but before I do, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and requests you want to see next. Scientists went back to the island and found this container of this brand of freckle cream, which Amelia was notoriously known for using. Girl was eaten by crabs.
So, Miss Land Gaines, as entertainment purposes only, truth or just hoax?
I think that would be a hoax.
Okay. I actually believe that to be true because, again, Amelia Earhart disappeared. To find that specific type of freckle cream, to find those bones and that island, almost identical to her body. We've never found the plane. They've never found it. We know that she was going from east to west through the Atlantic and disappeared. And now I've seen coconut crabs. Those suckers can literally open a coconut with their claws like it's nothing. And again, those can break bones like it's just twigs for coconut crabs. And they're really big. They're not like crabs like this. They're like this big. Like about that big. And I was watching a show on Roku. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Roku still exists. Amelia Earhart was definitely eaten by wherever she endlessly crashed. That's true. And I don't think it's 100% accurate, but something happened to that woman. Thank you. Because they even make. Thank you for bringing this up, Onyx. They even bring it up in the Night of the Museum, the second movie, where they were making fun of Amelia Earhart, and then she liked Ben Stiller's character. And at the end, she's like, "Oh, she's going the wrong way." Like she was just notoriously a bad pilot, but she's famous for crossing so many things. So I'm just saying. Everyone watching, hit that like and subscribe. Now. That's crazy too. Like the guy who made the here's an add-on conspiracy. Entertainment purposes only, Mr. Laren Gaines. True or conspiracy? I've always thought about this. The guy who made the La Bamba with Buddy Holly. Freak accident or planned? For fame, obviously.
I don't know. A lot of the stars. That's a tough one. I don't want to say that. Well, I don't want to be responsible for saying that because I know that a lot of people think that about Aaliyah.
Oh, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude. And the guy and the band of Leonard Skinnerd and a couple of other artists as well who have died by mysteriously plane crashes. And what's weird is that you don't see that many commercial airline crashes at all through history, but there's a lot of private plane crashes.
And
know?
that's one of the reasons why Aretha Franklin refused to fly.
That's fine. I respect that and I understand that. Mr. Laren Gaines, A or C?
Let's go with A.
Okay. Now, before I put this out, there was breaking news that just came out, I think yesterday or today. So I want to put that out there. This is a conspiracy theory that actually connects to breaking news. And everyone watching it that like. Here we go.
Who killed Tupac and Biggie? I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way. More Biggie than Tupac. I think Tupac got killed by a dude that they, had an incident with earlier that day. But Biggie's seems a little
JFK.
Governmental to me.
That was Ice Cube. That was Ice Cube, ladies and gentlemen. Ice Cube getting a lot of trouble by just saying whatever he wants to say. And that's Ice Cube. We'll put that out there. So breaking news is that apparently the cousin of the guy who got beat up at that casino got arrested by the police after 16 years. And he apparently is the murderer of Tupac. Now, let's start with that first. Why did it take him so long? And by the way, a year or 2 years ago, it was discovered that when Tupac died, he was next to the policeman, and he told something to the policeman before he died. The policeman never said what it was until like 2 years ago. What were those words? F the police. Okay, that was out of his words. Now, what are your thoughts on this apparent suspect?
Again, I don't want to speak out of pocket, but it took this long, is what I want to say. It took this long. I think that a lot of this is a distraction. I really do. I think it's a distraction. I think it's to keep us off of what's going on in the real world. Okay. And I'm going to just leave it at that. So it took all of this time.
Exactly. And just out of nowhere, almost up to the 6-year anniversary. And thank you, Onyx Blade. Wow, we're not surprising.
And that's why I didn't even make that a part of my music news. I'm going to just tell y'all that because I didn't even want to give it.
I love that. I love that. Oh, my God. Thank you for this, Onyx Blade, too. I don't think that's the guy. I agree with Laren that it's a distraction. It's true. Out of nowhere, that out of 16 years, now the guy's going to be like, oh, yeah, we got him. We done a 16-year investigation of a gangbang shooting because obviously the video evidence of the guy that they beat up is there, just connected to the family, and 16 years later, it was the family. And with Biggie, I am not even going to touch that because honestly, nope. I'm just putting it out there for entertainment purposes only. That's Ice Cube that said that.
And here's my thing. I really have a problem with people who just believe everything that's on the news. It really drives me crazy that just because it's on the news, we want to go ahead and jump and believe it. It's all a distraction, and it's to keep people, like you said earlier, in fear, and it is to program you to believing things that sometimes are not reality.
That's right. Thank you for saying that. And there's a lot of things that would put out saying, oh, this is true. And then years later, like basically people remember the whole butter is bad for you. A few years later, butter is good for you. Bacon is bad for you. A few years later, bacon is good for you. For the last 20 years, ladies and gentlemen, they have never truly decided what's good and not good for you. And if you look this up, this is not a conspiracy theory. This is the fact. The 4 major food groups that were the triangle, the pyramid of food, was not a real thing that doctors made to help us. That was something that a company made saying, let's put some fucking money on this shit. But that's another story.
Speaking of that, real quick, do you know the number one food that is more addictive than drugs, than alcohol?
It's not milk. It's probably sugar.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, probably sugar. Yeah, sugar is the one thing that fuels it. Because also, what a surprise that I've been saying this for years. Splenda has the same thing they use in insecticides. Same thing in a small amount. And they just announced at the end of this month they're going to discontinue using Splenda in all products across the board because they realize it has insecticide in it. Again, not conspiracy theories. These are things that I've been saying for years, and it just came out. Now, main event. I don't even remember what this one is, so this is going to be juicy. Let's go.
Might not want to eat Oreos anymore. We all know and love Oreo cookies for its signature taste. But if you look closely at an Oreo cookie, you'll notice that there are symbols on top of it that might carry a different meaning. Well, you see, that double-cross eternal symbol actually represents the Leviathan symbol in the satanic realm. The word Oreos originates from the ancient Greek and Egyptian term Aureus, which just happened to be the Egyptian serpent that people used to worship. Furthermore, it was reported that the Oreo company had built a super secret doomsday bunker in Norway, where they claimed to house the formula for Oreo. But who knows what is really being hidden down there? It may be a stretch, but just how like Christians partake in the body of Christ, this might be the satanic way of fooling the world into a satanic ritual. But all people can say is,
again, I don't remember that part. This channel always goes for heaven or hell. Now, we're not going to say that Oreos is a satanic cult. We're not going to say that. But here's a question for you, Laren. Why the hell would they make a super underground bunker in Norway?
I have no idea.
It's not Coca-Cola.
That's
like
strange.
Chips Ahoy have been rocking it side by side, and I thank you, Onyx Blade. I think that's BS too. Like it. One more comment from him. I don't think Oreo has anything to do with a cult. I don't think so either. Again, these are just random things that I find. And again, I don't even buy Oreos. I buy Chips Ahoy. Like, is Chips Ahoy the Angels? Is that what we're doing? But your thoughts on this?
I saw the picture. Only thing I can say is I saw the picture.
Yes.
And I put two and two together, and I saw the picture. Now, how can we deny when we saw the picture? That's why is that on there? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, it's just. I just found this out, by the way. Fanta. Go on.
No, okay. I thought you were still on the Oreo. Go ahead.
No. I'm not. Oreo is not a cult thing. Come on, guys. Like, if they wanted to do something, they had 60 years to do something. By the way,
I'm not saying that it's a cult, but people who have the ability to just put stuff out there just to do it, I believe they would do it, such as the Disney movies where on the cover they had or they had the letters SEX and the Lion King and stuff like that. Because they do it. I mean, SpongeBob. I mean, I go back and I watch some stuff and I'm like, I can't believe it. And Ren and Stimpy, the stuff that you see when you go back and you watch that. So not saying that it's a cult, but did they put that stuff in there on purpose just so that they can, sit back and say, hey, we did it? Probably. I mean, we saw the
90s were weird.
But go ahead.
The 90s were weird, Laren. There was so many stuff. Anyway, here's a fun fact that's not a conspiracy theory that I just found out. Do you know who invented Fanta?
I was going to say something jacked up, but no.
No. Okay. Here's the story of Fanta. I didn't know about this. This is messed up. This is not even a conspiracy theory. This is reality and truth. Look it up. During the World War between Germany and everybody else, Coca-Cola was distributing their bottles everywhere, right? But when the Nazis started, doing their thing, Coca-Cola cut them off and closed their Germany offices and their companies in Germany. They closed it up. We're out of here. Because most countries have their own factories to produce their things there. I've been to Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen. They make Coca-Cola in Bahrain and actually says it. Tastes totally different. That's something altogether. So, a scientist wanted to duplicate Coca-Cola for Hitler. Didn't really work out, right? Then he's like, well, I'll try to make soda myself. But Hitler and his crew didn't want to give the sugar because sugar rations were being hoarded for the war. I get that. So he used decomposed fruits and everything else. And eventually he made Fanta. And he told him, you can make Fanta, but Fanta has to be by the mark of Nazis. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you drink now, Fanta, was made by a scientist for Hitler. Real fact. I'm not making that crap up. It's just, damn. But, final thoughts on conspiracy theories, Mr. Laren Gaines.
No wonder it's pushed in certain neighborhoods.
Especially Argentina. The home of a lot of runaways.
Hey Cardala, what's going on? How are you? Final thoughts on this. You never know. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories out there. I saw one Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
that was
God.
Crazy.
Which one? The one you saw? The one that her body disappeared for 6 hours after she died? Oh yeah. That's a very sad conspiracy theory. And to give you the cliff notes, ladies and gentlemen, once Marilyn Monroe died, her body legally disappeared for 6 hours. No one knew where her body was. Then it popped up back at the morgue. They found contusions, throat marks, and everything else after the fact, post-mortem. No one knows what happened, but you can imagine. That's what I say about that.
So the powers that be who are in charge of it,
yeah,
they can get away and do whatever they want to do, and they've been doing it for years. As we just said, Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, and it's just sad. That's Marilyn Monroe. No, Crush Soda. Crush Soda has a dark history too. Almost all the soda brands have a dark history made by ex-scientists of regimes or hungry conglomerates that realize you can. We can have that as a topic, Mr. Laren Gaines. The soda companies and the history behind them, because this is just some dark shit. But
does anybody drink soda?
And only because where I live and there's a joint, and Cardala knows this. The really nice sodas like Cherry 7-Up or root beer, like real root beer, and you don't get that here. I rarely get Cherry 7-Up because it's hard to buy. I buy ginger ale because for me ginger ale is like a fancy drink for me.
My grandmother used to always drink Cherry 7-Up.
Ooh.
Now, I will say when it comes to some of these sodas, since we talked about soda, I saw a video that said you will never drink Coke again because it did like 13 different things.
Oh yeah, it can clean a toilet like a beast. It can take oil out of a floor. It can clean rust out of a nail.
It can clean off of a battery that has the deposits on it. So when we know all of this stuff, why do we continue to drink this?
Because no one cares that there's long-term effects to something unless we see the long-term effects in the long run. We see obesity in America from all the sugar drinkers.
But that's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
You keep on. Keep naming them.
Then we look at South American countries, and that you know that's a good point too. Here's a good point too, right here. And Sprite, but not often because of the sugar. Again, yeah. And what's amazing is that mostly all the drink companies, except for a few, are owned by one company. That's it. So they give you variety, not because they want to give you variety. They give you variety because they know that this is going to taste like this. This is going to taste like this. Did you know as well, not a conspiracy theory, but a weird fact, Pepsi bought KFC, so KFC would only exclusively sell Pepsi.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I wonder why you would go to certain restaurants and we only carry Coke products. We only carry this. Yeah. We only carry that. And that's so that, they couldn't go back and undersell.
Yeah.
And switch things out. Like we got with the cell phone providers, you switch to this one, switch to that. The same thing was going on with, the salesmen going into these restaurants or having board meetings and yeah.
You know what sucks? Pepsi and Kentucky Fried Chicken sucks. Like, it's not a good combination at all.
I will tell you that when I did drink soda, I used Coke products. I just think that Coca-Cola has a better aftertaste.
Yeah,
That's
but you
just my
never really. Yeah, but you never really get like. It's like Aquafina. It's like no, it's Aquafina. Card baby. I'm saying baby to my girlfriend. Sorry, baby, who's my girlfriend, Cardala. Um, what's There's a water brand that has a negligible amount of salt. I forgot what it's called. Dasani. Dasani
product.
in the bottom right corner in the back of the bottle says it has a negligible amount of salt in the water, which makes you automatically more thirsty when you drink. And it says it right there because people don't look at it and say, when you have water, I don't want to have water with salt in it because then you get more thirsty. Same thing with coconut water. Why don't you don't drink coconut water? Yeah, coconut water is good for you, except when you go to the bathroom 8 hours later. It's not that great after. All right.
I drink coconut water.
It's good for hydration. It's good for constipation as well. That's why I'm like, I'm good. Sugar is all they're feeding us. Shake my head. They literally process all the nutrients out of juice before we buy it just to preserve it longer. And I think he's out of here. Here we go. Anyways, good night, everyone. Catch you later. Have a great night, Mr. Onyx Blaze. Thank you for passing by for the new channel. And Mr. Cardell, good night, Alex. Love Cardell for that. Now, yeah, we can go on. We're gonna have a conspiracy theories part 2 on this, ladies and gentlemen. We can go on for hours, but this is an hour show, not a 2-hour show. All right. My final thoughts. Throw out as many conspiracy theories as you want. It doesn't really matter. Some are true, some are not. There was actually a movie with Mel Gibson called Conspiracy Theory. Check it out. It's kind of a fucked up movie, but it's kind of cool. That's all I'm going to say about that. Part 2 coming soon. Coming soon. Now, Mr. Larry Gaines, before I do the shimmy shake and all that stuff, give me a second. Okay. What time is it, sir?
It's time for music news.
Kiki.
All right. So we got Megan Thee Stallion, we have BB Rexa, we have Daft Punk, and we're going to do Ed Sheeran tonight. So Megan Thee Stallion launched a mental health resource site, which is called Seize the Awkward. So congratulations for doing that. I know she has been in the spotlight, the headlines for some nonsense, but and when I think about her career and think about how she started off, it was always about giving back from day one. And that's what I definitely liked her about. She's always empowering women. She's always uplifting people. So this is another good thing that she's putting on the table. Seize the Awkward. Go ahead and check that out. Congratulations, Megan Thee Stallion, for giving back to the community. This is an interesting one, which I had no idea. BB Rexa. She performed recently for the first time after being hit in the eye with a phone. So again, these so-called fans are throwing things on the stage. I saw underwear between cell phones with BB Rexa, water with Cardi B, and you wonder why these artists launch back out and start throwing stuff back at you. Again, if I'm at a concert and I'm enjoying one of my favorite artists, I doubt that I would be throwing a cell phone. So crazy. But in any case, she performed and everything went well, but she did say that she was very nervous and very scared after having her eye beat up by a cell phone, which I don't blame you. Daft Punk. I always thought that Daft Punk was Pharrell Williams and Chad. I don't know why I always thought that, because they were in a costume and you never get a chance to see who these people really are. But apparently they're from France, and I still think it's Pharrell Williams, but that's just me. So Daft Punk released their final album, which I had no idea. 10 years ago, they released the final album. So they have been celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their last album, and they have been releasing anniversary editions. Now they're coming up with a drumless edition. So you're going to get their last album, Memories, and you'll be able to listen to all of the tracks, but it's going to have no drums in it. So Interesting. I don't know how that's going to sound. I don't know if that's something that I would really be into because me, I need all of that. I need the drums, I need the bass, I need all of that. Doom, doom, I need that. But anyway, congratulations to Daft Punk. And is anybody with me? Do you think that Pharrell Williams and Chad are in them costumes? But that's just me. Congratulations to Ed Sheeran. I had no idea that you did this. Did you know that he did this? Ed Sheeran released a new album. Did anybody know that? Probably not, because if you're not a real fan of him, because he went out on his own, which most of these artists are wisening up to the whole music industry and separating themselves from, the big machines that keep them trapped and stuck. So Ed Sheeran branched off. He has his own record label called Gingerbread Man Records, and he just released an album, and he said, that's it. I'm just putting the music out, and that's it. I'm not doing a single. I'm not doing any videos. I'm not doing any interviews. I'm not doing any big promotions. This is my record label. I'm able to do it my way. So I'm just releasing music, and it is what it is. Almost like a little independent artist that's trying to really get themselves out there, where they're just uploading stuff on SoundCloud. That's what it takes me back to. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is music news.
Shout out to Daft Punk. I grew up with them, and that's not Pharrell. I actually met them in person. I met them in person in a rave once. They're really nice people. They took the mask off. They just do it for show.
Oh.
Yeah, they do it for like big shows, but when they're like when they were in Puerto Rico, like in 2007 and 8, there was like just chill guys with glasses on. It was pretty cool. So I respect
almost like Disclosure. I love them.
Yeah, like because most DJs I know, like the big DJs of like, and by the way, I would buy that album because again, No Drums makes all their music brand new, and they know that because like hearing a Daft Punk song All Around the World and everything else, you remember the cadence. You remember now. You take the drums out. Woo, that's gonna be VIP music for me right there. And I don't know, I love that. And then that's open season now for up and coming remix shows to grab these songs.
Yes. Now that part I didn't think about that, but that's really good.
You know how hard it is to take the drums out of a freaking song and remix it? That's a bitch. But they take it out for you. It's open season. I actually might become DJ Wrong Time again and have some fun with that shit. But ladies and gentlemen, that was music news. On to the next thing up, which is something very. I'm not really a fan of sports except for wrestling and maybe some like crazy lingerie football. If it's in good taste and in really they actually are working, but that's a whole nother story altogether. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Yeah, we are bringing the music tonight.
This weekend.
So, all right. So again, just like you said, I really am not into, football, but I will tune in for the Super Bowl just for the halftime show. So,
of course,
especially because it's music and everything. So I'm going to go down like everyone argues back and forth as far as what is the best halftime show, and especially after Dr. Dre killed it with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. People were like kind of upset about this lineup because that was the first time that the NFL had, hip hop rappers from top to bottom. Yeah. And it sparked all this controversy as far as which is the best NFL halftime. So I have the top 10 just from doing a poll. So I have the top 10. But before we get into that, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Usher because he will be doing the next halftime show.
Oh, wow. Mr. Oh, bam, 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 bam. All right, good for him. Good for him, man. Like, he's never been in a halftime show.
Usher definitely is going to be doing that song, Yeah. Right? Isn't that what it's called? Yeah. You know that's going to come. You know that's going to be.
You know what's sadder? Little John has been in the halftime show before Usher.
I'm sure Usher will bring him back.
I know he will. Yeah, poor Little John. He's like 55 years old now. Love you, Little John.
So, Prince is undoubtedly number one. Everyone 2007. Sad part about it is I don't remember it. Do you remember?
Okay, now we're gonna go off the timeline of Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson.
Oh, I remember that one.
Okay,
Not
so
the
I'm going
one.
off that timeline.
Okay.
And this was probably when Prince was either okay. I know Prince became a symbol around the 2000s. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is right after he became a symbol. And I
This,
remember the halftime
yeah, this was 2007. I don't remember it though.
because he became a symbol like around 2001, 2003, I want to believe. Because he was in the 1999 MTV like New Year's Eve, and he was just called Prince. He was not a symbol, so I remember that of a reference. So between 2001 2004 became yeah, I remember that. That was a good. You know, Prince was in his prime, right there. He was having fun, so I respect that. I remember that performance.
And thank you for bringing that up. So Justin Timberlake has done the Super Bowl 3 times because he did that one with Janet Jackson, which caused all kinds of issues.
Yeah.
And he did it when he was in NSYNC.
Yes.
He did with Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly.
Yes.
So Justin Timberlake did it 3 times. All right. The next one, people go crazy about this one. Michael Jackson, 1993.
That was again. That was when Michael Jackson was just hot. 93 to 97 was his years.
I don't remember it. That's craziness.
You don't remember it? Okay. Let's take us back into a time, ladies and gentlemen, where I remember music in the 90s. It was you were either a pop song artist, Hanson, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mandy Moore, gangster rap artist, Nate Dogg, Dr. Dre, Biggie, all that stuff. Or there was a really small or you were a grunge, I hate my life, Rooster, drugs, Black Hole Sun. So there was only 3 subgenres, and then there was the Juggalos. But we don't talk about the Juggalos. That was the rise in the 2000s. We're not talking about the 2000s. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Michael Jackson, I guess.
See how great music was in the 90s.
Of course, everyone was making. Dude, you had a different world. Martin, step by step shows and music and fashion. Everything was just like, we don't know what the hell we're doing, so we're just gonna throw it out there and see what works. And there was a lot of things that didn't work, ladies and gentlemen, but there's a lot of things that did.
I remember this one. Beyonce, 2016.
Beyonce by herself or Beyonce with Jay-Z?
Beyonce by herself. She really did a good job.
Okay. I remember Beyonce by herself. I didn't watch the one when she was with Jay-Z.
And then, do you remember YouTube? No, that was a mistake. Not YouTube. U2, 2002. U2.
Yeah, I saw that on a boat live. It was actually pretty nice. It was nice.
This one I don't remember either. 2014, Bruno Mars.
Didn't see that one. That's why I don't remember it either. Shout out for him because he's a Puerto Rican. I'm happy for him, but that was the rise of Bruno Mars when it just, like F me like a gorilla and the freaking other songs that came out that was just like he was the shit.
He still is. I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to live performances, Bruno Mars definitely does his damn thing. When it like actually singing from the gut, man, please.
I know, but like I said, I'm gonna say this right now because we talked about conspiracy theories. 2 more years, and then it'll be just another Bruno Mars all over again. Not even 2 more years. 1 more year, and there'll just be a new type of Bruno Mars. Like, oh my God, he's innovative. He's awesome. And he's gonna ride that out because there's something else that we don't talk about. Well, nope. This is NFL halftime.
Okay. Nope. I get what you're saying. I know what road you're going down.
Yeah.
Katy Perry, 2015. I vaguely remember that.
She was dressed up like a space woman and everything else. It was really weird. It was really weird.
Wasn't that when she had that song?
Either Fireworks or Roar.
The Dark Horse one. What was that song?
Oh yeah, I remember this one. I know what
You
you're
know what
talking
I'm
about.
talking about, where they were just vibing. That
Yeah.
was like a hip hop type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know why I don't remember this either. Lady Gaga, 2017. Where have I
because
been?
it wasn't that much of a good performance. I saw that. That was just her singing la 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 la. There was nothing great about it to make it memorable. She sung a lot of songs. There was no like wow factor. Lady Gaga was popular in 2015, 16, but around 17 to 18, she wasn't that popular. She wore the meat dress. She was very
Oh,
anti paparazzi. She didn't give a crap about anything at that time. So yeah, can't even remember this shit. This is some good shit. Damn.
now this
This is some good shit, man. Goddamn.
now this next one, I do remember this one and I liked it. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, 2020.
Yeah, that was when the Ricans came. And then yeah.
Now I did love Jennifer Lopez's part. I'm just gonna say I'm not a real Shakira fan, but Jennifer Lopez did the damn thing. What do you think?
No, I'm happy for her. Like she represented Puerto Rico. She represented like Puerto Ricans or Boricans or Arawak, however you want to call us. Shakira, I'm not a Shakira fan, only because I've heard that her songs multiple times burned into my fucking skull in the radio, going to supermarkets, going to a clothing store for women. No, it just no. No.
I know what you mean. I will tell you, when it comes to Shakira, and you know I love Mary J. Blige. One of the worst Mary J. Blige performances that I've seen in my life, where I just walked away from it and said no, was with Shakira.
Yeah. She's like there's like everyone just likes her because she can shake her body like a gypsy. And then that's it. That's like her last 4 songs, she always does this. That's it. Wow, good for you, man. T-Pain can do that too with auto-tune. Like
They sung "Love Is a Battlefield" and it was on VH1 Divas, and I was just like, no, that's definitely not on my playlist to replay.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say that Coldplay and Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and Beyonce.
What year was that?
I guess it was the same year that she did 2016. I remember Coldplay.
This must have been Coldplay's second album because they were popular on their first album, and on their second album they only had like 2 songs that were actually good, maybe 1. So yeah, could be that time. I didn't see it because again, it's Coldplay. Coldplay is just for when you're sad. I know, but it's when you're sad. You sit down, you're on a rainy day.
When you perform this one was the uplifting one.
Okay, so it's the second album.
Yeah, this one you weren't sad.
Yeah, they realized the first album raised the rate of self-deletion by a lot.
Wow.
Okay. I got sad in the military. I'm like, I'm crying. Like, you know that song too. It's like, oh my god.
When artists have that power, they just have it. That's crazy. Justin Timberlake, where he did the tribute to Prince.
Yes.
2018. I like that one.
I liked it. A little too late. Prince should have came back around 2016, 17 and really come back and like showed off. Prince. Rick James is still alive. Shit. Get Rick James. Why didn't you bring him? Like, why would you tribute just Prince? Tribute other people. Ray Charles, Prince, Rick James, Shaka Khan, Sade. Like, they were there. But just Prince.
Sade. I wonder if they'll ever really do any tributes to them like that. That's interesting. I don't think. I mean, but they are mainstream. But it's like one of those.
Sade, you can tell, like, she's in a weird spot in the world of music that you say her name, and the majority of people that are at least 30 years old and over will know who that is.
Now, that's crazy. They could rock the Super Bowl. They could rock the Super Bowl.
Yeah, with remixes and people that can take
They don't
Smooth
even-
Operator and
Yeah.
make it something like new age and very like now, which I would
But
love
you-
that.
But you don't think that people would just be sitting there rocking to Sweetest Taboo? I mean, I would. Like, I don't even think you need to mess with it.
Sweetest Taboo is about like you're making love to your significant partner after the song. You're in
Okay.
the Super Bowl area. You want to see people beat the shit out of each other.
Okay, how about this? Nothing comes between us. You know, when that come on,
They might like someone at the scrimmage might like hug each other and say I love you and then fight. Like again, Sade, unless it's upbeat and like more like upbeating, it is you know. I love Sade. Mind
Me
you, I
too.
love her. But it's just, Smooth
Shaka Khan.
Operator.
Shaka Khan could do the Super Bowl. Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can see that.
Again, that's why I said Rick James. That's why I said like Africa Bambaataa. All those guys could have done something like that. Run DMC, when you still had them around, they were still around 2016, 17. Around, I think, the DJ died around 2015, 16, around that time. So you had a chance to bring a revival of music, but it was the 2010s. I remember it was crack music. Everyone was just singing Duffel Bag Boy, Lil Wayne, crack. Everything was just that until 2016.
Okay, if you had a wish of artist, just three, because I know it's hard to pick one. Three to perform the Super Bowl, who would it be?
Oh, easy. One, Nirvana, and make sure he's not that messed up, because he when he gets messed up, he gets really into his music. Two, I would like if they were alive, like a Biggie versus Tupac at the Super Bowl. That would have been been billions of dollars just throwing it at the stage, And if by off chance it was the East Coast versus West Coast football team at the Super Bowl, forget about it. That would have been perfect. And third, which is really weird, honestly, because it's like there's not that many people I would like to see at the Super Bowl play, but maybe a tribute to the Doors, Janis Joplin, Hendrix, those three. A good tribute with real artists. Maybe get some druggies in there. It doesn't matter. But like real artists, like what I mean. Like real artists to like represent them. Like really give their get Slash from Guns N' Roses and make him play Hendrix. The guy can play.
I got one for you. I don't know if he's done it or not, but has Stevie Wonder done the Super Bowl?
I think once.
Yeah.
Once. Only once.
That's a good show.
It would have been again, Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin together, right then and there. Aretha Franklin alone, and you could have had Erykah Badu, Sade, Lauryn Hill sing as backup singers for Aretha. I just made that up. That would have been money. And again, I know at the time of 2000s, Lauryn Hill retired, Erykah Badu retired, and Sade would just phased away. But you could have got them exactly. But it's Super Bowl money. It's stupid money. Come on, Aretha Franklin was selling pumpkin pies at one point. She don't give a shit.
No, that wasn't her. That was Patti LaBelle.
That was Patti LaBelle. My bad. Shout out to Patti LaBelle. I had tried one of those pies. They were good. My bad.
They had a beef with each other, and because people did exactly what you did, confused them too.
It's not because they look alike. It's just that when you think of like soul of the 60s is either Patti LaBelle or Aretha Franklin, but the majority of the time, sorry, Patty, you say Aretha first. You say it just instinctively. R-E-S-P-C-T.
Well, she has an extinctive catalog compared to Patti LaBelle. So
yeah. Patti LaBelle, I just remember her now because she sells pumpkin pies. And that one guy on TikTok made fun of it and like, oh my God, poo-cha! I'm like, all right. I tried it. It wasn't that bad.
I tried it too. He became famous for that.
Yeah. I get that. All right. Any more? Keep going. I'm just going to talk about the bell now.
No, that's it. That's the NFL halftime shows. Congratulations to Usher. Can't wait to see who you're gonna bring out with you. Rihanna, I will tell you, her last year performance with Rihanna, I love Rihanna, but I really wasn't feeling it. I mean, the music, there was some times, but I wanted to see her get down and dance, but of course she couldn't because she was pregnant.
Yeah. It's not the same. It's not the same as like if it was like 2009, 2012 Rihanna. Like those times were perfect for them because they were like at the height. Hell, you could have got Ciara. Ciara was hot for 6 months.
Let me tell you,
That's it.
that girl, she knows how to dance, she knows how to sing, she knows how to do it all. But again, I don't believe that she's mainstream enough to where they would want to like that.
No. And it's sad, but like hell, I wish for the future there would be a Limp Bizkit revival. Like, NSYNC's going to the next Super Bowl. If this tour goes out well, they're gonna be at the next Super Bowl, regardless.
Speaking of NSYNC, I don't think a lot of people are feeling the new single, and Justin Timberlake has some nasty things to say about people who don't like it.
He is just, oh my god, what a big ass baby, honestly.
But anyway.
That was NFL's best halftime. We're gonna talk about freaking Justin Timberlake's whiny ass. Fucker guy's money. Oh, no one likes my single. Sit back in your $1 million bed, bitch. Now, all right. Now, it's time for Stories of Coquito, and this is gonna be kind of weird but fun. All right. Now, obviously, I can talk about my YouTube ban and all that shit, but that's for another day. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about my week that I've had, which is a really funny week. A few hours ago, I was in a 3-hour podcast talking only in Spanish about me becoming the mayor, people showing my Twitter page, which, ladies and gentlemen, don't look for my Twitter, and just having fun. Okay? So I had fun with that, right? Before that, I went out to a wonderful lunch. By the way, Rihanna's performance was cool. I loved the dancer, and they carried the show for real. Thank you, Cardo.
Absolutely. Yeah, because she couldn't.
No, that's true. That's real. But either way, the days before, I hanged out with a wonderful person, went to a restaurant, had a lunch with the thinnest pieces of chicken. You ever seen like someone like pound a piece of chicken to like it's flat to nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. So someone breaded that flat nothing and made it kind of like a husk. So it was like a husky breaded chicken with like that. I opened it up and I thought it was fish for a second. I'm like, but it was good though. It was good. I'll say that right now. So thank you, Megabytes. Shout out to Megabytes. I was just literally saying minutes ago that I was on your show hours ago doing 3 hours in Spanish, talking about everything else. Now, check out, and by the way, shout out to Megabytes. Check out his channel. Give it a subscribe. Days before, I found this wonderful painting that was from 1983, and I used it to make a collage wall because it's a beautiful painting. Days before that, a dentist threw away a beautiful mural wall that I'll send you later, Larry. That's like glass. It's very artistic. Something else happened. Now, my girlfriend doesn't know this. A few days ago, when I was waking up in the morning, I wanted a cigarette. Didn't really have a cigarette. That means I had to go walk to the damn gas station to get a cigarette. All right. So while walking to the beach, I tell myself, let me just go to the beach and just sit there for a second because my shoulder's been hurting for days now and my back's been hurting. Just normal old man problems. So I sit at the beach, whatever. I see this car, this red Corolla, pass by me with the music at 6 in the morning, 6:30. They park their car and they're right next to me, like on the side this way. And doing my own thing, having my own fun. The car, right, starts doing that. So I tell myself, let me get the hell out of here because out of respect, I don't want to like bother them because they're there for a reason. 6:30 in the morning, he's probably going for work. She's probably got to take the kids to school. They want to get it done, or they're probably not even having kids. They're just going to get it done, whatever. So I get up and I leave, right? So they get spooked and they leave. So I go to the plaza and I tell myself I got to go to the gas station to get cigarettes. So I walk to the gas station. It's a 3-minute walk. On the way to the gas station, who do I see? But the woman that was shaking the car, putting gas in the car, right? And the guy at the gas station pump, at the attendant. So I walk past her and she sees me and she puts her head down. I walk past the guy who's inside and I ask for like my pack of cigarettes. He looks at me like he kind of recognizes me, but he doesn't. Then the girl's pointing at me. Then the guy's pointing at me. So I'm thinking like he's either embarrassed, he's gonna run up on me. As I'm walking out of the gas station, as I'm walking back, the car circles twice. Right? So I'm like my instinct, and Megapets knows this as well, growing up in Salinas. If a car runs around twice, you grab a weapon or you're gonna run. Now I'm in a straight line. I know I can get to my house running in 2 minutes. Running. I'll be dead ass tired by the time I get there, but I can get there in a straight line. Like that. The second time it comes up, it runs. Boop. And he says in Spanish, "Hey man, did you see anything?" Like, first he said, "God bless you," by the way. I'm like, all right, God bless you too. And he's like, "Did you see anything?" I'm like, all I saw was a car moving and I didn't want to bother you guys, so it's all good. Whatever.
You're better than me.
And the funny thing is like, "Yo, you out of Coquito?" And at that moment, at 6:30 in the morning, I'm like, nope, I'm good. Thank you, my government, for answering that. You would run for your life. You just run for your life. That's what you do.
That's why when they said, "Did you see anything?" I'd be like, "What you talking about? I didn't see anything."
And that's even if they were talking about, did I see sex or did I see a drug deal or did I see, no, I didn't see shit. All right. Later on that day, after they left, I went to my mom's house, chilled out, whatever, talked to her. One of my brother's friends parks their car, and we hear it because I'm in the kitchen, and I'm not gonna say my brother's name, so I call him. I call him one. Hey, come out, one. And my mom's like, check out who that is and tell one that his friend's here. I'm like, all right. It's the same fucking car.
I knew it.
And I pop out. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Yo, you're this guy's brother? I'm like, yeah, he's my younger brother. And my brother comes out. Yo, you know this guy? I'm like, nah, just seen his car around. Didn't want to bring up any trouble. And then I hear in the background, oh, what the fuck happened? Like, what were you doing over there? Were you stupid? In Spanish. Didn't want to say anything else after that. I told my mom that. I'm like, my mom's like, what are you doing at the beach at 6 in the morning? Like, what am I not doing at the beach at 6 in the morning? Like, I'm just chilling at the beach. Like, you telling me I can't be there at 6 in the morning? Come on, man. No, I'm not saying that. I'm like, man. Like, you should tell me what are they doing? Like, they can go to a motel, but there's motels here that are 24 hours. So don't look at me that way. All I'm saying is that don't be scared with a guy that was already sitting at the beach and you came to me. I didn't come to you. And you're doing your thing. Have fun. I'm never going to be a person to stop. As we talked about this, Meguppets, I'm an open-minded going to be mayor. If you want to have sex in my town, please be safe, please be protective, and please be tidy of yourself after the fact. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Give a little change to the town. Like, thank you. That's all we got to say. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Stories of Coquito. Nope, nothing like that. Final thoughts, Mr. Learning Gains, on these two topics.
Wow. Where do I start? Conspiracy theories, like I said. The powers that be are the powers that be.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that some of these things are real, and that's why they get covered up, and there's loose ends and all kinds of nonsense. So we both better be careful as far as what we say.
Of course. That's why I said it in the title, entertainment purposes only, just to make
So,
sure.
whatever with that, you can never beat that. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen because they got the money and the power to do whatever.
Mhm.
There's some truth. Like my favorite inspirational person told me, Laren, there's always two sides to a story, and the truth is always somewhere in the middle.
Yep. Yep.
And moving on to the NFL, I love that my favorite person has been able to do it twice. So it's great when we can think about, who we have perform at the Super Bowl. I think that conversation that we had was wonderful, but you got to really be mainstream and you got to be, that A-list star in order to be in that atmosphere. And you got to have that Grammy, and you got to have that #1 album during that time frame in order to make it. But there's so much good music out there. I wish that the general public could actually vote as far as who they want to get into the Super Bowl halftime show. That would be great, right?
That would be great, but then there would be hackers, and then you get little Dirk or little Zanny, and then you're like, oh, yeah. Like, no, that's the weird thing about this. Okay, I actually would suggest, like that we talked about before, bring back 90s artists, or really just like, it's gonna be 2024. Go back 30 years, honoring 1994. 1994 alone had badass music. There's a lot of bands that are still old that are good.
Actually, that's a good way to do it too. If they go back so many years, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20, but they go off of the Billboard charts for that year.
Yeah.
That's
Bring those bands back. They'll most of these bands that were badass back in the 90s will work for a sandwich now. Okay?
That's a good one. I like that.
It's
I like
true.
And the stories of Coquito, wow, how crazy was that?
I see a lot of sexual. I see a lot of bang bang activity all the time in my life. So, It happens. Like, again, we can talk about the motel stories. We can talk about the times that, like, but I talked about that on my Spanish podcast with Meg Uppets. Check them out. Love them to death. Shout out to Salinas. My final thoughts on conspiracy theories. There's always a shred of truth in something. Small amount of truth. There was another one that Buzz Aldrin went to Alaska that saw a pointy mountain, then he had a heart attack, and then he said there was something evil over there. I could have talked about that as well, or the Illuminati, or how most of these artists are making music videos with symbology on them. But the point is just to show you that you can just throw a rock at something, and there's going to be 3 stories of conspiracy automatically on the rise. Why? Because there's people in this world that believe there's a truth, and there's people in this world that believe whatever they want to believe is their truth, and they make a cult society flock of it, and they'll keep going. And that's the scary thing about the information. Information is free, but information can be altered as well as being free. Always find the truth and be truth tellers. And for best halftime shows, like I said, I'm not really a halftime person. I do watch the halftimes for the commercials and for the performances, so I do like that. Like we talked about before, bring back old people, bring back old artists, bring back remixes of songs that we haven't heard in 30, 40 years, and really, like, make it 2024. We have so much technology to do so much things. We can have holograms of bands playing in the Super Bowl.
That's another thing. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming.
Of course.
Last time I heard, there was a Tupac hologram and there was a Whitney Houston hologram.
I would not be surprised if next year Bone Thugs and Harmony will play, because one of them died. So one of them can come out as a hologram.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Today?
I think like yesterday. 2 days ago. 2 days ago to yesterday.
Because I didn't see it come across my news feed. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm. I listen to a lot of rappers and stuff. So like they are, and they will always be, a cornerstone of history of music. They made a genre. They put it out there. It was like it was just like Coolio with Gangsta's Paradise. Right place, right time. Go on, sir.
Can I tell you something about Bone Thugs and Harmony? So my first concert that I went to, you know who it is, Mary J. Blige, and
Of
Bone
course.
Thugs and Harmony actually closed the show.
Of
So
course.
I was surprised that Bone Thugs will close the show but they have been out before Mary J. Blige.
Was
But
it the 90s?
yeah, it was '96. It was the Share My
Yeah.
World album.
Of course, dude. Biggie and
I
Pac was getting heated in 95, 96. And Bone Thugs and Harmony just came out with See You at the Crossroads. They were riding that shit for 2 years.
fell asleep during that concert.
Oh, come on.
After Mary went off and Bone Thugs and Harmony
Yeah.
came,
No, yeah.
they were late first of all. So we sat there and waiting for them for another 30 minutes to 45 minutes. By the time they came on, I fell asleep, and then me and my sister looked at each other and it was like, let's just go home.
And again, yeah, I understand. I knew a guy back in the Navy. That's another story. You know what stories are from Coquito. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Midnight Vibes. I can go on for another. We already passed the hour mark. I want to thank the 3 to 4, 5, 6,000 or hundreds or 6 people that came by today. I know this is Rican Reactions. I know this is not a 2000, but I know that the purpose of Midnight Vibes is to grow, to talk about social issues, and have fun, and really talk about things you've never heard before. So if you can, share this, like this, comment this, subscribe, and remember, Midnight Vibes is about fun, magic, and everything else. And I keep forgetting about this, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because I'm a dumbass. And why do I say I'm a dumbass? Because it's time for the promo. Always let www.larengains.com. I gotta start putting that as the intro and an outro. Like, I remember that stuff.
I do have to, I had to fact check.
Of course.
He's still alive.
Of course. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Midnight Vibes will come back next week with a special edition of Ridiculousness called Outlandishness. And next week, leave your comment down below. If you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down for this, my topic in 2 weeks will be the life of Brittany and Bobby. Good night, everybody.